long before we start up the movement? How long we gon' keep letting them do us? How long before we start up the movement? How long we gon' keep letting them do us? How long before we say fuck this peace shit and grab them clappers? How long before we lose our voices shouting Black Lives Matter? How long we gon' keep letting them disrespect our president? How long we gon' keep letting them terrorize our residents? I'm sick of this shit, it's word to Bernie Mac. How long before we police ourselves, take our own streets back? How long for Uncle Tom here and hate on this shit? How long before they take a shot at me for making this shit? How long I gotta wait for justice for Josiah Shaw? How long we gotta fake it till we can take it and whack 'em all? How long we not gonna make these youngers pull their pants up? How long we gon' keep letting them shoot us down with our hands up? How long we gon' keep killing our own and making these streets hot? How long will what I say to you stay with you when the beats stop? How long's your attention span? How long you watch the news? You ain't down to shake shit up with the rebels for the cause? I ain't talking to you.
Remember, I'm Asian. I mean Indian. Or wait.
Hi, it's Tim Waltz here, Mr. Folksy Demeanor himself.
Hi, Tim. It's the Giggle Girl, Cackles Kamala. Are you ready for our totally spontaneous and not scripted call?
Yes, oh great Madam Vice President, I am.
So, give me your ideas on how we'll run our admin.
First of all, we'll defund the police and let violent left-wing protesters loot and burn down the cities, just like I allowed them to burn Minneapolis in 2020 after St. Floyd died.
Okay, fantastic. And I will help raise bail money to get the criminals out of jail after they're arrested.
Sounds like a plan. Now, as far as tampons are concerned, we'll write a law that requires all boys' and men's bathrooms in the U.S. to supply free menstrual products. If they don't comply, I will set up a hotline so Karens can call in and snitch, just like I did during the pandemic lockdowns.
Sure. Oh, and if 6-year-old children are told by their woke parents that they are trans, then we'll give them tax-funded gender-affirming surgeries and puberty blockers. They would have been better off getting an abortion, but anyhow.
Do you still want Medicare for all, including illegals? Newcomers.
Yes, of course. We need to give amnesty to all the migrants so they can become permanent Democrat voters. And then America can become a single-party country. Plus, they can get Social Security, food stamps, welfare, and free phones. And we need to leave the border wide open. I know 85,000 children that have crossed the border have gone missing under my Borders Are tenure, but I think we can make that 200,000 in no time. Who cares about children? I hate them.
Yes, yes, and more yes, Queen. Shake it like Megan the horse.
It's Megan the Stallion, not horse.
Right. Now, on to Kamalanomics. Let's tank the economy, raise taxes, unlike stupid Donald Trump who wants to lower taxes and have no tax on tips. Plus, he wants no taxes on seniors who get Social Security. What a weirdo. We need every American person to be poor and dependent on the government, just like we did to blacks. It'll be great.
Remember, I'm Asian. I mean Indian. Or wait, is it black? I forget. I'll have to ask the Associated Press. Oh, did I tell you my great-great-grandfather was one of the biggest slaveholders in Jamaican history? He didn't want to free his slaves after Britain outlawed slavery, so he collected millions of pounds from the British in order to give up his slaves.
Wow, I guess your grandpa had a lot in common with Democrats. Hence, why you're a lifelong member.
You think we can make America communist in 4 years?
We can do it in 2 years at this rate. You and Biden had a great run.
You're right. Oh, and I'm so happy. Okay, talk to you soon, baby boy.
Okay, bye now. You're so brat.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? How y'all doing? Hey, that was hilarious, man. Shout out to Puppetgate for another banger. Welcome to Provoked Thoughts. I kind of wanted to jump it off a little bit different and kind of get a little laugh out, because we're going to laugh a little bit, but we're going to talk serious a little bit, because there's a lot going on with this crazy Democrat situation, this convention that's going to have protests all around it and all type of craziness. And I don't recall all of this happening at the Republican convention. I don't recall all of this. It's going to be hundreds of thousands of people that hate the Democrats is going to converge on Chicago. What is really going on, man? It is crazy. I am actually excited to see what's going to happen. I hope nobody gets hurt. I hope that the point comes across that the Democrats are not what you need to be looking to when you're looking for a positive change in our country, our situation, the situations overseas, the illegal migrants, the price of gas, energy, and everything that you hold near and dear that you may like to do is even civil liberties and freedoms. It's very, very important that we understand that we're in a situation where we're going to either vote somebody in because they're not somebody, or vote in the somebody that needs to be there because they are that somebody. If you could follow my Kamala Harris type of jargon. Cackling like her. Oh, my goodness. So without further ado, I'm going to bring on my buddy Noobs, man. What's going on, man?
I knew you were a closet Kamala supporter.
You see how I spun it? I did it on purpose.
Yeah, man. We're on to you now. We're on to you now.
I did it on purpose.
The
But
chat is on to you. YouTube is on to you.
At least I made sense. Well, hey, then if you're on to me and I'm a Kamala supporter, come on and stop shadow banning me and get me together. Please stop it. And I do want to thank everybody, and a special shout out to somebody that we've been looking for. Kilroy girl, it is good to see you in my chat. I hope all is well. I am excited that you are here. Thank you so much for being here and blessing me and blessing everybody with your presence and your complete control as a moderator. Thank you so much. All right. So Kamala. It never ends. They are trying to prop up this woman, man, that's clearly got issues. Now, Puppetgate is absolutely satirical, but it has never been more on point in certain scenarios and absolutely predictive of things to come in others. It's absolutely amazing. And it's almost like, what's the craziest shit that could actually happen next? Because this has been batshit crazy. This whole process of the 2024 election has been nothing short of the best thing on television. There's nothing better. There's nothing better. It is nothing better. I don't name something better than this. Because you had one person, an old guy, that couldn't put two sentences together, and you're trying to understand what he's saying, but you can't. You clearly know that he's in cognitive decline, but you got people lying to your face and saying he's as sharp as a tack, and we can talk to this man and have these wonderful meetings, and he's on the political stage. And then when you actually put his ass on the political stage and people ask him some questions, with big Medicare. Oh my goodness. It is amazing to me, news, that people are falling for this BS, man.
I got called out 8 days ago by somebody, because I mean the rumors were already stirring that that Joe was unhappy with what was going on, and I don't believe for a second that he signed that piece of paper that they tossed out there.
No,
Not
hell
for a
no.
second. And so, but now he's getting pissed. And so now all the people that were calling me out for just passing along the rumor, and I even passed it along as a rumor, is like, hey man, I think Joe might challenge Kamala at the Democratic National Convention. And remember, we talked about it here on this channel, and that was the whole reason for wanting to do it live, to
Yeah.
see what was going to happen. And here we are.
Mm-hmm. Face to face.
Man. And
A
so, I
truck.
mean, a lot can still happen between now and, tomorrow evening at 5 p.m. But
Man, I just don't, I just don't get it. CNN has lambasted this woman
oh my goodness.
at times. And, then, we go all the way through this, and then you come with the most communist, Marxist, economic ideology for our United States that was born on supply and demand.
And see, this is why I think that every word out of her mouth is written by a group of high school kids that are in the background just making shit up, because she couldn't even say the words right, which means she doesn't even understand, the thing.
It's price gauging, baby.
Price gauging. Yep. And to her, that's probably some economic buzzword that she didn't know or whatever, but she's just reading it off of the page. She's completely clueless.
That was, hey, come on, man. And then they talk about, Donald Trump, and he rambles and he rambles. But look, he's standing up there for an hour and a half for people who have waited for 12, maybe even 24 hours to be in a position to come and see him. Kamala ain't got that problem. She don't have nobody waiting outside after everybody's rounded up to come in the building.
I think we should start a pool. And the pool will be about whether there are more Kamala Harris supporters at the Democratic National Convention than there are protesters.
I think there'll be more protesters.
I think I agree with you. I think that is a very, very likely possibility.
I think there'll be more protesters.
I don't think that they are going to get the 100,000, pro Hamas people that they're talking about. But even if they get 10,000, that's a lot.
Yeah, that's going to be ridiculous. And I don't remember any protests like that popping off at the Republican convention.
I'll tell you what, one of the things that has one of the top search results over like the last, I don't know, past week, let's say, 5 to 7 days or something in that neighborhood, really, really high up there has been the Democratic National Convention in 1968 and all the craziness that happened then. And so that surprised me.
We need to pull up some footage on that.
Of what, 1968 DNC?
Yes.
Yeah. All right. I'll do that while you're doing your thing.
Right. So basically, when it comes to Kamala, the woman's got a lot of issues. Now, I've been saying, and I've said it a few times on podcasts in the past, that I think she got a drinking problem. I've been around, drunks, people who are slightly inebriated or buzzing, and feeling themselves. And I really think that she drinks, and apparently so does Professor Nez.
Breaking news, everybody. Is Kamala
Professor
Harris an alcoholic? Check out this first video, and I'm going to share you a couple of clips, even one from today. This is trending all over online, especially on X, Twitter. Make sure you follow me on X at Professor Nez. Law enforcement specialists, personnel, long-standing veterans are all chiming in and saying this woman, if she was behind the wheel of a vehicle, she would get pulled over and she would get arrested for a DUI. And like now, like I'm watching some of these clips, and especially the ones I'm going to share with you. Holy macadamia nut! It makes sense. Check out this one.
Everything is in context. My mother she would give us a hard time sometimes, and she would say to us, I don't know what's wrong with you young people.
What's she doing?
You think you just fell out of a coconut tree?
drunk as hell. Drunk as hell. What was that, bro?
Dude, I think we have kind of covered this before. Remember when we had like her mug from a few years ago, side by side? Yeah.
Drunk as hell.
Yeah, man.
Look at that lip, drunk as hell.
Yep.
That's a liquor lip. That's a 100 proof vodka right there with cranberry juice.
Dude, I have got the sneaking suspicion that she absolutely loathes going on TV and talking to the press, because every time she does, she makes a fool of herself.
Whose cocaine was that in the White House?
I couldn't even guess anymore, but I know what team they play for.
Oh my goodness. Whose cocaine was that in the White House? Now it's a murder mystery. It could be anybody's.
Yeah, except they got DNA and fingerprints off of it. They just don't want to tell us.
Right. It might be young Cackles over here.
You exist in the context
Oh my goodness!
of all in which you live and what came before you.
Oh
okay, so a lot of you guys remember the coconut tree clip that I just played. I mean, that one it really brings it to light once this is kind of becoming more and more evident. Here is the clip where she was in Madison that actually kind of started the sort of snowball effect of a lot of speculation. Like, this woman is 100% intoxicated. And the more I go back, I'm not even sharing with you all the clips that I've seen, but the more that I've gone back, I'm
so mad because we be ahead of the game. We be so far ahead of this game. Are you kidding me? Are you actually kidding me that we sitting up here with less than 400 subs and we are so far ahead of the game, and we've talked about this at length?
Oh yeah.
About the fact that she got a drinking problem. I've said it.
Or, and the last time that we talked about this, and I don't remember how long ago it was. It's been months, and we talked about the possibility of it being alcohol. We talked about the possibility of it maybe being something other than alcohol. But that clip that he just showed, I think that's pretty clear to me that that's alcohol.
Man, as I'm telling you, it's 100%. Is great. She's sipping on that goose, just like Fanny, getting loose before she had to go out there and speak, and then get to talk about the passage of time. Time passes real funny when you've been drinking.
Yep. And you know what? I mean, dude, some people are freaking lightweights, and I think that term applies to her in a lot of different ways.
Oh no, I think she might be able to hit a bottle, man. She's 60-some-odd years old. She was out kicking and hanging with Montel and them. She been drinking for years, man.
Oh, all right. Well, let me ask you this then. Okay, in a drinking contest, Kamala Harris or Nancy Pelosi?
Nancy Pelosi.
That's what I'm saying, man.
Drink a clean under the table with no doubt, sir, no doubt. Nancy,
Yeah.
that's all you got.
Yeah, that's right. Nancy, I mean, shit. If she has Fruit Loops in the morning, it's like under vodka.
Man, if you cut her open, she'd bleed. She would bleed cognac.
Yep. That's what all those big fun bags are about, man. That's an alcohol stash.
My goodness, man. And that's why her face isn't sagging even more than what it is.
Oh my goodness, dude!
it's
How old is she?
84.
Oh man, she doesn't look a day over 200.
She looked like.
I mean,
she looked like a wicked witch of like the West.
Dude, she looks like Crypt Keeper.
Oh my goodness. Okay, let's keep on with those cackles. Let's check it out.
A lot of research today. Holy mackerel. It all makes sense. When there's no teleprompter and she's completely scriptless, this is why she's not. I mean, I'll talk about more about this. Oh my God, there's so much to talk about. But watch this. This is the clip that started it all. Watch her movements, her manner.
It's insane that we talked about this. I'm just like, we've talked about this. We've talked about this. Oh my goodness.
Her gesticulations, the inflection and nuance in her voice. Watch this.
Exactly.
Because when we think about the strength of our democracy,
she looked drunk right now. Look at that. She's drunk.
I think that there's a duality to the nature of democracy.
Oh my goodness.
When it's
or high.
Or something.
Intact.
Could be. I mean.
Oh, it's so strong in terms of what it does to up.
I think she got a weed. I think she got a weed pen.
Somebody passed her in her college classes.
I think she got a weed pen, bro.
That could be.
I think she'd be smoking, hitting a little pen or something. You can't smell it, smell good, and everything.
I mean, it's legal in D.C. All of that stuff is legal in D.C.
Higher than boy.
They will deliver it to you. All you got, you're on your lunch break and you're sitting at a parking meter. You just got to tell them what street you're on and what the parking meter number is.
Look at here, audience. This is audience, everybody. This is real talk from two people who have been known to, possibly at some point in our life partake.
Possibly.
Allegedly, maybe even today. I don't know. But honest to goodness, she is lit. You can look at her and tell. I mean, there is no doubt in my mind. Look at the hand gestures and everything. Look at that. That's drunk people explanation. Look at that.
Hold and protect individual rights and freedoms. So strong in its nature. And it is very fragile. It will only be as strong as our willingness to fight for it.
I can't wait to read your comments, but I have to say this really quickly. As somebody who has worked as a bartender, I ran my own catering company at one point in my 20s. We've been around a lot of intoxicated and inebriated people, and I can tell you right now, watching that last clip and her very kind of unstable mannerisms and gestures and her arms swinging like that and her voice, it is just, whoa. It is definitely something to consider. I mean, we talk about presidents, taking cognitive tests, but taking a breathalyzer test before becoming president, taking a drug test before becoming president, I think it's warranted in this case.
Our extraordinary President Joe Biden.
They'd have to fire 85% of Congress.
Hey, because they already talked about drinking on the job in Congress, man. Come on, man.
Jeez.
These females out here.
I mean, that's the real reason why they don't, drive themselves anywhere. They're freaking sauced half the time.
Hey, man, shout out to my boy Stoney Montana. He became a member of this page after I actually just ridiculously sat out this female on one of my friend's Facebook pages that was talking so freaking stupid. I mean, this was when Kamala first got in, and she wasn't talking, and we was literally challenging her. Please, just tell me a policy. Just tell me something.
Yep.
Just tell me something. I'm thirsty for you to tell me something. And she kept on going back to the same bull crap. And then she started going into the personal attacks and all this craziness. And me and him was kind of like just going back and forth. We were just lighting her ass up. It was a beautiful thing. So welcome, Stoney. You know what I'm saying? Chime in. Let me know what you think about everything. You can be in this chat and kick it, man. We kick it around here. This is the couch. If you want to jump in, you can jump into the StreamYard. We can talk about it, man. And that's what's up. Appreciate you, bro. So, anyhow, back to this drunkard here. Oh my goodness. Ooh-wee. She in trouble because you know when I dive on people like this, it's hard for me to get off of them. And I would say she may have one of those Betty Ford issues.
Mm-hmm.
She may
doubt.
I wonder what kind of
she may be on them pills and potions, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. I mean, and I don't, I don't wish bad on people, man. And I don't like the lady, man, but at the same time, get some help, man. This is crazy. Why are we going through this, man? Now, we can go even further. We can go even a step further, and I'm going to jump away from this, and I'm going to jump into something else when it comes to Kamala that I discovered just today on some silly foolishness. Now,
all of a sudden, she became a black person.
Now, I say she'd be stealing. So, we gonna let it be known.
That's clear as day.
All right, she's a crook. So Kamala Harris is about to pop into a store. Now, if you look outside, it's deader than Michael Jackson. Not like when Trump went to the bodega, and it was gated off, and there was people everywhere. So one of my big questions out of this whole game is, who is they polling? Who are you calling? You ain't called me and asked me nothing.
Sure, Washington Post, New York Times.
Who are these people that you calling? Look at this. Nobody's enthusiastic about it. There's so much enthusiasm for Kamala Harris. Then it should be a Michael Jackson effect. Whenever they touch down, who gets that effect? Trump do. He touched down at a Chick-fil-A, go to a bodega in New York, pop up at a Philly cheesesteak. It goes down. Look at this.
You're like, oh, Kamala Harris. I don't give a fuck.
Let's keep it all the way 100. If Trump had walked in there, you wouldn't have been able to get in there.
Right.
There'd have been so many people in that store.
Yep. And you know what's going to happen, right? We're going to see it. I'll bet you. Look at all of the dates that he's got in Pennsylvania over the next month even. And so tell me he's not going to stop at the Sheets after this.
Man, look, check this shit out. And then she goes and grabs.
Dougie, there they are.
Yeah, thank you.
I know you want that.
Yeah, go get him yourself.
How the hell you don't know where the Doritos is in a convenience store?
What a damn shame.
Dougie, there they are. Oh my God, the fakeness is ridiculous. And she gonna grab a bag of Doritos and say it's my favorite. Okay, you know now anybody know that's high food, and you messing around running around here with Dorito breath. You terrible, Kamala. Everything about you is negative. I'm not feeling you.
At least it's the red bag and not the blue bag.
You know, and Cool Ranch is nice, but your breath still gonna be hot with the nacho cheese. I'm just saying.
And you look in that store, man. It's like ain't nobody giving a damn about her.
So in my mind, I'm thinking about this, and I go back to the situation where Trump was at the bodega. You feel me? And I go back to a moment in time where Puppetgate put up this.
Some Doritos, bro.
What the hell? I sense thievery, man. Why would this heifer go and pick up some Doritos, man?
What you got?
Look at this.
I do, and this is my go-to. The original nacho
Is it?
cheese.
After you smoke one?
Some peanut.
Oh my goodness, man. This is crazy. Did you see the thievery right there? Some of her goofy people watch Puppetgate. Shout out to Puppetgate. They watching you, bro. What you think about that, Noobs?
I am just surprised. I mean, all you can see in here is camera people.
But you saw that on Puppetgate. I need some Doritos, bro. And then she just happened to go in here and grab what? A bag of Doritos? Are you kidding me? Are you really kidding me? Absolutely freaking hilarious, man. I don't know who they polling. I don't know who they talking to.
Got to be drunk people.
I don't know how they polling to say all of a sudden now it's a dead heat. And you went into a store, ain't nobody outside the store like, come on, oh shit.
Hey, but did you hear about Tulsi Gabbard?
Look outside the window, right over her head.
Yeah, her stupid bus.
Yeah, so it's not like people don't know she's not there. They're like, oh hell, let's go to the next sheets.
Man, ain't nobody trying to go hear her talk about nothing. What do you mean? Like, oh my goodness, it's like, you mean to tell me it's all this enthusiasm? It's all fake enthusiasm. You just happy that it's somebody besides Joe Biden right now. And you got this goofy Tim Walz running back here. He was the coach that led the team, and he wasn't even the head coach. Y'all kidding? He was not the head coach of that team that they say he led to the championship. You feel me? It's crazy. The lies, the absolute lies and BS that's coming out of these people's mouth to try to boost these people up and then try to tear somebody down. You've been tearing them down for years. And now when he say facts about you, oh my God, what did he say? Exactly what he needed to say. You didn't pass your bar. You didn't pass it the first time, second time, and then you probably had to do the hot tour in order to get it the third time. That's the way that I see it. Tim Walz look like he might hot tour somebody too. Tampons in boys' bathrooms. Mr. Yellow Beezy, what's going on with you? Talk to me, man.
What's good, man? What is good? Man, did you hear about Tulsi Gabbard? I'm going to help Trump in the debate.
Yep.
Woo!
So
she done. She put the nail in the coffin.
Toast. She's toast.
What's going on, gents?
Hey, Mr. Bounty, what's going on with you tonight?
Hey, not that. And it's funny that he said that with Tulsi Gabbard. Tulsi Gabbard absolutely destroyed Kamala Harris. Not that President Trump needs her, but now that she's the force multiplier. Yo, come on, listen. I'm over it. I'm over. This is a shit show. I'm over it. We should just have the election tomorrow and just go ahead and swear him in.
The only people that's checking for Kamala is the people that they polling. They know who they calling.
Dude, when they're paying people to support her, that's not organic support. They don't like you. They don't trust you. You're an idiot. You got nothing on your own recognizance. Nothing.
Not at all.
Anything you've gotten, you've been assisted with. It's been behind corruption.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Now,
dude, it's
in all
horrible.
fairness, I hear she can suck the crumb off a trailer hitch.
Yeah. Give me a
Kamala is nothing special.
She can't even draw a crowd.
Man, look.
She can't even fill up a small classroom, a stadium.
That last thing where she dropped her economic plan, and we haven't even gotten into that. And I really want people to understand what that is. When she dropped that, she only had like a few people in there. It was crazy. And I'm like, wait a minute, you dropping the biggest plan and nobody's here to hear it?
And you know, one of the things that is just boggles my mind to the point of frustration. And you know, God rest her soul, Sonia Massey. And as it pertains to that case in particular, but not just others. Well, you know, I hear people saying I can't support Trump, well, because he's going to give cops immunity. I said, listen, first of all, everybody needs to take the fucking sugar daddy out their goddamn ears and listen to what he said. Do you think that he's going to give a cop more power first of all, the president doesn't even have that kind of immunity. He's clearly said that he's going to have ethics councils look at every one of those cases to determine what type of immunity. See how they twist that shit?
Yeah, they twisted.
You see that?
They twisted up nice.
I'm like, dude, like really, like some of these people that believe this stuff, I would like to go back and look at some of their grades in school. I want to go and look at their grades in school when that teacher said comprehension and paying attention needs improvement. They probably got those kind of marks.
Yeah, it's like some people hit me up talking about how you're gonna vote for a man that's gonna give immunity. I'm like, do you dumbasses see what this man meant by that? And that you have celebrities like Cardi B, who's a slut, talking about this, and then now everybody running with it. I'm like, listen, man, stop listening to celebrities. That's the problem with people. They listen to these damn celebrities too much to gaslight them and pander them to keep black folks stiff in another 4 years.
And it's a damn shame that it's not enough celebrities saying enough, because I think that a lot of them are Trump supporters.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of them, you know.
Yeah, Snoop Dogg, they all know the man. That's the problem.
You know, and like I said, I've been saying for years, and I really didn't even know what I was saying. But I'm like, it seems like that they trying to make men soft. Like it just seems that way. You had the toxic masculinity thing that went around.
Oh yeah,
you know,
the white.
They're trying to emasculate. They're trying to emasculate the men. That's a part of the dark agenda.
Right, and then it turned into, you know, the Me Too and Time's Up movement, where you can kind of skew the story and make yourself a victim, even though you reaped every single benefit that anybody could ever reap from anybody that they're dealing with, but you can still turn around with your Birkin bags and your trips that you took and claim that you was a victim.
Yeah, and they were like saying with Harvey Weinstein, Bill Cosby, and all that shit. I'm like,
so
that's the whole one.
You got a lot of people. You got a lot of people out here that have a victim mentality. They feel as if they want for people or the government or whoever to do something for them. I know that in every neighborhood, maybe not in Noobs, because maybe so. You never know. Do you ever experience that bum at the grocery store, or that bum at the liquor store, or that bum that needs a little change?
Every single time. Every
Yeah,
single time.
like Ricky.
And here's the thing. I won't give them money, but just about every single time I come out of Walmart, because that's generally where they collect around here. Uh, I'll hand them a bag that's got a sandwich, a bag of chips, and a soda in it.
And that's
Yeah,
cool.
Ricky Smiley, man, Bernice needs to shut her mouth because she
So
talking about if she was president, she gonna get sworn in by a Delta Sigma Theta. I'm like, who give a damn?
First of all, Ketanji Jackson is not. Usually, the incoming president is sworn by the Chief Justice. That's John Roberts.
Yeah.
So
That's
now I guess she probably could request that, but Ricky Smiley needs to go have a seat because, bro, he's one of those boule. He's a boule member, one of them boule motherfuckers.
a fraternity member.
And he's about as sugary as you could possibly get because he was wearing dresses before it was even popular. He was playing grandmama, at a church and all of that back in the early 90s. We ain't gonna forget about who you are, bro. So you with it all.
And it's like, bro, man, we don't know who give a damn about sorority or fraternity. First of all, those things are demonic. And they also perform witchcraft. So who gives a damn about that? Let's be honest.
Obviously, they do.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people who were in fraternities and sororities, especially black fraternities and sororities, are heavily Democrat.
Yep.
Unfortunately,
Roland Martin,
and they're heavily far left. I have family members that's that way, and the funny thing is that none of the ones that are Trump supporters have ever been a part of a fraternity or sorority. We don't need to be a part of any group.
Yep. And then you had Martin Luther King, who was a Alpha Phi Alpha fraternity member. He was definitely far left.
Right. I mean, I don't think that Martin Luther King was a lefty lunatic, do you?
I know he was a Republican, but he was a part of sorority, and he was a Prince Hall Freemason.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Malcolm X was in a fraternity. He was Omega.
Yeah.
I think that some people take that experience and it's an awakening for them as to.
I was just gonna say. Yep.
Yep. It's an awakening. Say, oh shit! What the hell? What did I get myself into?
Mm-hmm.
But what I will say?
Oh yeah, he was a Republican, but it's like people start learning more about Martin Luther King nowadays and realize he wasn't really the guy everybody thought he was.
Ain't nobody never the guy that you thought that they was.
Exactly right.
Nobody.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the big problem that I have with these hypocrites. We all knew that Donald Trump was an international player. We all knew that he partied. We all knew that he kicked it. We all knew that he said whatever was on his mind.
Mm-hmm.
But the media, the stupid people in the media allow for you to skew your brain when a person has not changed from the 1970s when he emerged.
Mm-hmm.
Has not changed. Same guy.
Mm-hmm. And you know what? It's like a lot of these celebrities really love Trump. Because Amber Rose was saying that a lot of rappers and celebrities were hitting her up, telling her that she had the balls.
I mean, who do you know in this world that remains the same individual?
Exactly.
And I know he's changed in certain ways, but certain viewpoints and ideals he's carried with them since you ever heard him speak a word. Mm-hmm. And it's like, are you kidding me? Now that we got all of this other stuff in play and gender identity and DEI and dumb politics. Now that we got all of this in play, we're looking at, you know, oh, well, what is he talking about? This is fascism. No, it's not. It's everything that America was founded on. We ran from crap like this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we got these Black Lives Matter, which is another scam and a evil organization.
With all, you know, with all the women in the world is making $100,000 a year in jobs in corporate America and everywhere. Yeah. How in the world can you tell me that women in America are being held back?
They talking about my women's rights.
How can you tell me that? How can you tell me that when you got women judges and women district attorneys running around here doing whatever the heck, women mayors out here robbing cities blind and all of this, and you mean to tell me that women, especially black women and my sisters, are being held back? Where? When? Why?
Man.
What the problem is? Because I don't see what you're talking about. But then you can turn right around and call yourself a victim at any given moment. But you know, the thing about it is that yes, you are a victim, because at the same time that they talking about protecting your rights, they allowing for men to turn into women and punch you clean in your face and everything cool.
Mm-hmm.
You want your rights, but you don't want your dignity?
And if females talk about women's rights, like Kamala really give a damn about women's rights.
I mean, it's a dignity thing at this point. There's nothing dignified about having to unalive an unborn person. But it's dignity in you facing somebody of equal measure and equal strength in a competition.
And she's all for that. She's not going to entertain. If she wins the election, she's not going to address none of that shit. None of that, because she's a puppet.
Mm-hmm.
It's all agenda based. All of these donors. Well, who are these donors?
And it's not even her agenda. It's the shadow government agenda. That's when I try to tell all these dummies.
Yup.
Do we remember a month ago that there was an attempt on President Trump's life? What does that tell you? What does that tell you?
Yep.
So they did the same thing to Theodore Roosevelt, trying to kill him, and they were trying to kill Ronald Reagan.
Anybody who try to save this place, they try to kill
them.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's real talk. If you really try to, and you get to a point where your voice is actually heard and people start to mobilize, they'll try to kill you. The government wants complete control. That's the Democratic Party, the ones that think that democracy and Democrat go hand in hand because it's in the name. No, it's not. It's in what you do. It's how you practice. It's what you do for the American people and not for yourself, or not for agendas that fund your campaigns.
Well, first of all, if you read through the whole Constitution, in fact, you can look through all 50 states' Constitution. The word democracy is not none of it. None of it. None of it. None of it. Democracy does not work. We found that from the European.
I don't know where you at, man, but you done faded away. I don't know what happened to him. Goodness. Yeah, man, but anyway, people don't even realize the levity and the gravity of what's really going on here, man. It's like so amazing to me that we are less than 3 months away.
Yeah. And then hurry up and get my ID.
From a life-changing election. And I'm talking about not just short term, long haul.
Have you ever thought about this as it pertains to immunity and why everybody's bitching and moaning about Trump giving cops immunity? Has anybody ever considered, ever stopped to think judges have almost complete immunity, unfettered power? Do you know that?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, as we saw in our Kelly case, we saw in Trump's case, like these
Right.
motherfuckers can do what the fuck they want to.
Here he goes again. I think he's overrunning his mic.
Oh yeah, he killing himself over there. He making
And,
too much
and
of a
his
point.
yeah, and his
Oh
mic
yeah,
is
because
saying nope.
them women did receive immunity in the R. Kelly trial. I'm like, wait a minute, how do they get immunity knowing they did some wrong stuff?
Yeah, see, they can pick and choose who they want to give immunity to, and then you got judges who have unfettered power and judicial immunity. Just, I mean, for example, case in point, look at Young Thug's his case.
My goodness.
Yeah.
Yo, his Young Thug's lawyer called the judge out for having a key witness and the prosecutor in his quarters, and the defense was not authorized to be there. And he called him out, and he got pissed off to find out how he found out. He called your ass out because you were fucking dude. He should have recused himself immediately. But you know what?
Yep.
Nothing happens to him. That was clearly prosecutorial misconduct, and he called him out, and he locked up his fucking attorney. How does that
Or
work?
well, he tried to lock up his attorney. He didn't actually lock up his attorney.
Yeah, Ashley Merchant to the
Like, well,
rescue.
then listen, if you're gonna put me in jail, put me in his cell. We can still work on his case.
Yep.
That was boss. But that judge clearly was called out. You were found out for prosecutorial misconduct, and he called you on it. You see what I'm talking about? And see, like I was told before.
Man,
your mic just took a dump again.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I was told by my cousin who's a trial attorney. She was like, "Listen, it's easier to get a president impeached than to get a judge thrown off the bench."
Oh yeah, no doubt.
I was like, "Are you serious?"
There's a clearer process. Yeah.
A judge is dude. They have unfettered authority almost.
Yeah. So now in because you've been following this YSL case, obviously. What do you think it was that that made the judge finally recuse himself?
I think it was. I don't know. I just think it was pressure from an outside source.
I think it was pressure because not just Ashley Merchant was the one standing in that courtroom, but she had another 60 lawyers behind her that have been through all this BS before. That's what they do. And that dude had an oh shit moment. He had some skid marks in his drawers that he had to go clean up and find a way to get himself out of this. Because now, and I'll tell you something else. I think that this judge who's in there now, I think that she's been given specific instructions that she needs to do what she can do to make sure that Young Thug is found not guilty. Why? Because if that happens, then there's not going to be any appeal to a higher court. And I think that is Judge Glanville's worst nightmare.
But this trial should fucking be over.
But he was just. Did you see the look on his face when Young Thug's when his lawyer called him out on that?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He was like, "How did you find that information? It doesn't matter.
Right.
It doesn't matter. You were caught doing misconduct."
And I think Steele did a great job of saying, because he put it right back on him. He's like, Judge, I should have found it out from you. You're asking me where I got this information. I should have gotten it from you.
I don't think that this is the last crazy twist in the Young Thug case.
Oh no, it's not. And
is Lil Woody still on the stand?
Oh yeah, Lil Woody is still on the stand, and you know, it's really hard to understand what Lil Woody is saying. You know, particularly in the interview when he's in there with the cops, because the reverb is really bad and Woody is hard to understand under the best of circumstances. But it sounds like he had something to do with the shooting.
That's what I think.
And if that's true, it creates issues, issues for the trial, in that, it's going to make it harder for them, I think, to get a conviction if little Woody is implicated. And not only that, but little Woody, he's got immunity, man.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And so,
There's like, I think in their minds, like, oh, it doesn't matter. We just want them
But didn't he say that in the ex parte?
What?
That he killed him?
Well, that is up for debate. And this goes back to the in-depth conversations that we have had about the legitimacy of the transcript for the ex parte meetings, plural. There were 2.
Wow.
Because the new judge revealed a second ex parte meeting that occurred before the one that Steele brought up to Judge Glanville during the trial.
Wow. Man, that just go to show you. And like we said, that wasn't the first time you did something like that. That was just the first time you got caught.
Right. Now, the prosecution in this case has been caught lying to the court on 4 separate occasions. And neither judge, Judge Glanville or Judge Whitaker, I think her name is that it? I'm not sure.
Judge Whitaker, yep.
Okay, neither of them have sanctioned the prosecution for any of their transgressions. And the thing that is kind of astonishing is if you look at the track record for the defense lawyer Steele, dude, this guy is a pro. I mean, going to way back. And this whole kangaroo court that we're watching here, I mean, it even makes him look bad because he's having to deal with just all of these ludicrous rulings and just insane asylum accusations and activities by the prosecution in this case. And they're not being held accountable for anything.
At all. Yeah, they're not being held accountable at all, man. And it's crazy to me.
Yep. The only thing that they have gotten out of Judge Whitaker so far is, okay, but this is the last time. That's essentially what she said in a nutshell. So damn the rights of the accused.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing that people forget about often, I think, is that this is not a murder trial. This is a made-up BS RICO trial because they couldn't get him for murder.
And you know what? That's absolutely correct because, they didn't have a case.
Right.
Like, when you charge a person with RICO, that's just proof to me that you don't have a freaking case.
Exactly. Now you're grasping. Yep.
Right. So you make everything around the person look criminal. Everything around them. Their friends, their family, they romantic moments, whatever the hell, you just make it all look like criminal activity.
Yeah, and the big crime is that we got to keep looking at that woman's lumpy butt. Move the damn camera in the courtroom, for crying out loud.
I mean, boy. I mean, she needs to get some spanks.
Yeah, she just needs to wear a skirt that fits her and stop wearing the ones that she had in college.
See, you about to get attacked by an animal? What's going on, Yellow Peasy?
Huh? That's next door.
It's a loud dog.
That dog is like, shit, I want to get it on the fucking podcast too. Shit.
Yeah,
that's a husky.
I mean, so talk to me. What y'all think? Do y'all think What do you think this debate, not the debate, the convention is going to be?
I don't know. That's why I plan to, at least turn on the broadcast so that we can take a look and see because wow. And
Absolutely.
and if I can find a feed from Fox, I'll take it.
Right.
Uh the second choice would be the Clinton News Network because I don't want to do MSDNC because all they're going to be is like, oh, just look how marvelous and gorgeous and heroic and intelligent she is. Oh, she's just, oh my goodness, we're just melting from the
The soil.
magnificence of Kamala Harris. Yeah, and you know that buzz-headed butch chick is going to be out there too.
And,
I think it's going to be more interesting. What goes on outside is going to be more interesting than what happens inside.
right. Maybe they'll put Rosie O'Donnell on stage.
Oh, that would be great. So we can watch her have a Trump deranged meltdown. That would be
Yep.
amazing.
That's all it's gonna be. There, honestly.
I hate Trump.
Watch another head spit out.
And that's the only thing that they can really talk about is a Trump hate fest. I think that's all it's going to be.
Yep.
Well, they're gonna have to. Well, I don't know, man, because if Joe ends up in the mix, then they're gonna have to debate. And so Joe's going to become, from Kamala's perspective, the most racist man in America again, because she doesn't have anything else to argue with. She just spent, almost 4 years talking about how great Joe Biden is. So what is that debate going to be like?
Oh, shit.
Is she going to have to choke on everything she said in the last 4 years to debate this man because she has no policy to move forward with? What is that going to look like?
Yeah, man. They're gonna have to give Joe a sedative.
They're going to have to give them both sedatives, man.
Oh my God.
Man, if she does the passage of time speech again, I swear. I couldn't even lay odds on it.
They're really making sure she doesn't get in a position where she finds anything funny. I mean, this shit is hilarious that they are really trying to make her into this serious person.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. And whenever these VP candidates go to debate, that's going to be a bloodbath.
And I would hope, is there going to be a crowd at this ABC thing?
What ABC thing?
The debate.
Oh, you're talking about the conditions of the debate? I don't actually know yet what
there
the
needs to be a crowd.
I think so too.
There has to be a crowd.
Yeah, I think so too.
I mean, because we need people's reactions to this bull crap, because he needs to call her on a lot of things. Like, there's a lot of things she can be called on. You could be doing this now. Why are you talking about what you're going to do? You are in office now. It is obvious that the president is not capable. You could be helping to do this now.
Really?
You're the second
person. that is like, the number one call that people are making at this point. Because, I think over the last week I've heard that from a lot of different places. What have you done for us? What if you can do all this shit on day one? You're talking smack about. Why don't you do anything now? Why don't you handle the border now? Just why?
You're the border czar, really, in real life. You could be like, hey, we need to sign an executive order to shut this border down. And Joe, he'll sign anything from what we gather.
Yeah, really.
From what we've seen lately. You could have got his signature somehow on this paperwork, and the border could have been shut down.
They got people over there that sign his name better than he does.
Man, quit playing with me. Oh my goodness.
So miss me with that borders shit.
You
got
get,
all the time in the world.
it's crazy. It's like, and people, I got people in my Facebook feed that I've been knowing for years, and I just want to delete the shit out of them and be like, you know what, you're just lost. You're lost and turned out. You are turned out. And one of the main things that I try to tell my black people in this world, and me and Noobs had a conversation about this because I keep it real with Noobs because he can't be caught off guard by some of the shit that I might say.
So has that ever happened? I don't know.
Maybe not. But Kamala Harris is a black woman, correct?
Incorrect.
Okay. Well, in their minds, correct. Okay.
Whose minds?
The minds of the delusional.
Now I cannot.
Okay, so if we were to take that incorrect statement and make it into a correct statement, okay, somehow through media magic or whatever the hell we're using, if Kamala Harris was a black woman and we rewind the clock back to 1847 and you was in a plantation, where would she be and where would you be, black people that's voting for her?
She'd be counting the dough.
She'd be in the house. She'd be in the house, straight bed wench.
Well, yeah, I could see that too.
For anybody, or by her actual lineage and history, she would have owned your asses.
Yeah, really.
Literally owned you.
And so this does pose a question. All right, with the dominance of her Indian heritage, how do you suppose, or where do you suppose the black side of her lineage came from?
I don't know, some random one night stand somewhere.
And it's hard to tell with her because, I mean, look at how she got just about every job she ever got, where other people did the things and she held the title.
Man. Oh, man. It's so obvious to me, like what's happening. And the polls are absolutely lying.
Yeah.
They're not polling anybody. Everybody I talk to, random black people, random white people, are not feeling Kamala Harris. They want Trump. I'm telling you, I've never run into like a gang of people. They say, oh my God, Kamala Harris is the best. It's always some goofball that has no information. Zero information. All he got for you is an attack. Oh, well, you must be a Republican. Well, I'm not, Republican or not, I'm not stupid. And I wouldn't dare vote for that woman.
Yeah, because one of my best friends and his family, they all Republicans.
I wouldn't dare vote for her. I wouldn't dare throw my vote in the trash can like that and potentially be an advocate for tearing down our nation. Because that's exactly what's going to happen if she get in there and try to even push through this economic equity plan that she got going on.
Hey, but she can do something that you cannot. And that is bring the Northern Canadian collard greens in from the field and wash them in the bathtub.
In the bathtub, man. with soap scum.
Yeah. That's another form of pandering.
Yep.
Talking about
That's like hot sauce in the purse, man.
what grandmama you know gonna advocate for some shit like that?
So let's talk about Bill Clinton with the saxophone.
Did he ever actually play that thing? I don't know if I ever heard him play it or not.
He played it once on Arsenio Hall show.
Okay, was it any good?
And with his ass, he was out there pandering, getting black votes, because Arsenio was the top show at the time. So they got a lot of votes from black people without even trying with Bill Clinton. Yes.
Yeah. Is Arsenio a Democrat?
Yeah, most people. Half of the industry is liberal.
I don't know, because this show got canceled because he interviewed Louis Farrakhan.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, and that's the reason why the show got canceled the very first time. Yep, his show went to the shitter after that. They're like, oh gosh. Because people have a hard time. People have
R. Kelly was on there. Well, not in the 90s, but in the recent years.
Yeah. People have a hard time dealing with the truth.
Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons why people despise Donald Trump.
Yeah.
He tell the truth. Ain't no real. He might ramble a little bit, but who don't? Well, that's all we do on here is ramble about shit. You know, in a formatted way, but yeah.
Well, yeah.
You know, but you know, I mean, hell, I mean, it's about having a conversation.
Yeah.
And he's literally having a real conversation with the American people.
That's what they mad about.
It's about the importance of the passage of time.
Hey, you know what? You know what I think black folks are really mad at Trump about? What he said about Obama.
Man, don't nobody give a damn.
No, some of them black people, man.
About him not being black and he wasn't from here.
Yeah, I still think that's true. His birth certificate was totally jacked.
Yeah.
So we still have never seen an actual birth certificate for Barack Obama.
I'll tell you right now, Derek, there's some black folks I know, man, still love Obama. They don't give a damn if he ain't did shit for black folks or not.
Yeah.
They vote for his ass again. If he could run again.
He did run again. His name is Joe Biden. It's just Joe.
If he could run again out in the open, Trump wouldn't stand a chance.
You think so?
Black people would just spaz the fuck out.
Do you think so?
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's go back to the 2020 election, all right, where Donald Trump got more votes than any presidential candidate in the history of presidential candidates.
I get it, but we talking about the golden child.
In a legitimate election,
I
disagree.
That's like Hulk Hogan entering the arena.
I don't think so, man. I think the love affair with Obama has faded. So, because he did not and was never, at any point in his presidency did he do the things that he said he was going to do. And so, everybody dwelled on this hope and change, and then they're standing around with their hands out, going, well, where's the hope and where's the change? Dude didn't do jack shit.
Hope float.
Yeah.
And all you're going to have in your pocket is some change.
I kind of think, that people are wise to Obama now.
When he started passing those policies, the ones that allow people to just get married for whatever, I was like, yeah.
Now, that's a misconception too. Yeah. Partly. Because do you know who is the only president that entered office who supported gay marriage?
Obama. He's the only one. No one. Honestly,
Trump.
no.
Donald Trump. Fact check me.
Mm.
Donald
Donald
Trump.
Trump is the only presidential candidate that entered office in support of gay marriage.
Okay. I know he don't have a problem with it.
He doesn't. And this is the thing that people forget. Donald Trump is not a conservative. He is another one of those people that the Liberal Party has just completely left behind. And if you need to go back and look at all of the interviews, all of the Whoopi Goldbergs and everybody else just fawning over Donald Trump and drooling over him and doing, he was one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but people change though, noobs. You gotta think
Well,
about that.
they do change, and he has had to solidify. Now, he did donate to both sides
And
and
what's
almost always
crazy?
has.
They would have let him be president on the Democratic side if he had wanted to, and he was willing to do what they wanted him to do. And
Well, exactly. If he would have been their pawn, all right, because, but he could have done that for either side, on either side.
but he kind of hanging when he was the actual Democrat. If he had took it all away and been that piece of shit Democrat that they're trying to make him out to be as a Republican, they would have definitely let him run if he was on their side.
Yeah, if he was actually what they try to make him out to be, I agree. Yeah. But he's not. And so, and he's the least, and those candidates that he has donated to historically, they were people that saw things, the same way that he did, whether they were Republican or Democrat or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And it just so happened, oh my goodness. Well, we all know what happened. And, I saw the look on Donald Trump's face at Obama's banquet when, he decided to make an ass out of himself and called Donald Trump out. That was when the decision was made.
Oh, yeah.
And so that was the clear. And so that just destroyed any chance right there of, Donald Trump ever running on a Democratic ticket or whatever. And that was also the moment that the mainstream media turned on Donald Trump.
Mm-hmm.
And what have they learned in that time? Nothing. Nothing. Even these channels that will now, talk shit on Obama, they won't talk shit on, Joe Biden or Kamala Harris or, anybody else who screwed them over the years. Crazy.
So do you think that Kamala Harris is going to do an actual interview before the debate?
Hell no.
Well, she's only got what? Tomorrow. Tomorrow is the start of the Democratic National Convention. So is she going to do an interview before tomorrow? No.
But I'm talking about before the debate in less than 3 weeks. What do you think?
Oh. No. I think she's going to be all played out. She's going to follow Joe Biden's nap schedule after the DNC.
Yeah.
That's crazy as hell, man, that we actually have to talk about this in these terms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's absolutely amazing, that we have one person we know actually loves the country, has shown the bravery that we need to have a good running country. And yet we got a tussle between that and incompetence at its highest levels.
Yeah.
And people, just the number of people who swallow it is just infuriating.
Yeah, it's insane. Well, they're swallowing nothing. They've been propagandized against Trump, and
yeah, and I believe I know who started to say that Trump is racist. That put the ears of every celebrity, and it's no coincidence. It's actually Obama, if you really think about it.
Absolutely.
But man, Obama, man, he was hanging on Trump a lot.
I've been looking, searching, and I still can't find nothing on tape or anywhere where Donald Trump has really said anything derogatory about black people, brown people, Chinese people. I mean, where the virus came from China. Yes,
He
it
said
did.
Chinese virus. That's what it is.
He was wrong for that. For real, why you defending China and you don't like China and we the enemy to them? What's going on? It's crazy as hell to me. Well, I don't know people, but I think that we need to actually break out a little early tonight.
Here, wait a minute. Before we do all that, check this out. Huh. It's this one.
Oh my goodness, Chicago business boarding up ahead of Democratic National Convention, fear of mass riots.
Ooh. Here it comes. It's bubbling.
Oh.
It's bubbling.
Well, Democrats should.
This convention may lose them the election.
I mean, it really could. Oh man.
And Trump could come right back and do a massive rally in Chicago.
Oh yeah, they're pretty much done with this one.
Oh yeah. Before we cut out, another thing. Trump behind bulletproof glass, you agree or disagree?
Agree. It should have been done
Agree.
Before. Yeah.
My lord.
I agree. I know aesthetically it's going to look a little interesting, but he's precious cargo. Agree.
Well, and I mean, if nothing else, they're going to have to do their jobs better than they have been doing. And, a piece of glass can seriously limit the angles.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, hey, do what you got to do. Protect that man at all times.
Yep. And, I mean, y'all can go out and check this out on your own. But, I mean, there's 3 videos on the top here. And for some reason, there's a lot of folks that are making or noticing similarities leading up to this Democratic National Convention that led up to the Democratic National Convention in Chicago in 1968.
Why don't you go ahead and roll some of that footage?
All right. Well, we'll just pick one here. Let's pick this one. This is PBS.
Okay, roll some of that.
Okay, let's back this up.
U.S. city, stretching back to
1860
when the Republicans nominated Abraham Lincoln. But perhaps none was as notorious or as consequential as the 1968 Democratic Convention, when deep divisions over the Vietnam War played out on both the convention floor and on the streets of Chicago. That history and its relevance to today is the subject of tonight's installment of Judy Woodruff's ongoing series, America at a Crossroads.
We thought of ourselves as revolutionaries in those days, and we were really irked by the Democratic Party and the war in Vietnam.
Michael James was in Chicago in 1968 when the protests at the Democratic Convention began.
It's not just the war in Vietnam. I mean, it was early women's movement, certainly civil rights movement. People were really aware of what was going on in the world and were taking it out on the Democratic Party. We were demonstrating because all of the delegates were staying here.
I met him across the street from the Hilton in downtown Chicago, where he took part in some of the most intense clashes, including when he and others began rocking a police van.
And there's a lot of myths about tipping it over, but we never did. We rocked it. This guy in the passenger seat.
Right here.
Right here. He comes out. He grabs one of these guys. I grabbed him, I took him down, and I disappeared.
It was another violent moment in an already bloody year.
We've got some difficult days ahead.
Civil rights leader Martin Luther King had been assassinated, leading to days of riots in major cities, including Chicago. Mired in the Vietnam War, which would kill tens of thousands of Americans, President Lyndon Johnson decided not to seek a second term.
I shall not seek, and I will not accept the nomination of my party for another term as your president.
He threw his support behind his vice president, Hubert Humphrey, but it was up to the delegates to choose a new nominee at the convention.
Not anymore.
Then in June, less than 3 months before the convention was set to begin, one of Humphrey's challengers, Robert F. Kennedy, was gunned down.
The menace of violence was everywhere. It was inside the convention hall. It was outside the convention hall.
Chicago-based author and journalist Rick Perlstein has written extensively about that summer, including in his book, Nixonland, The Rise of a President and the Fracturing of America. We met at the Chicago History Museum last week.
It all came to a head on Thursday, August 28th, when the protesters tried to march to the convention hall from this hotel downtown, were kind of waylaid by the police. So they decided to sit down right in the middle of the street, do a sit-down strike right in front of the cameras. And the Chicago police waded into the crowd with billy clubs and just randomly started beating people as hard as they could, throwing them into police wagons. When the police wagon was full, they'd throw a tear gas canister inside, and then they would close the doors. And the protesters were chanting, "The whole world is watching."
The city's mayor, Richard J. Daley, was incensed by protesters threatening to disrupt the convention. Police were also angry, feeling they had been held back from responding in full force earlier that year during the riots following King's assassination. And many of the protesters thought the country would be on their side.
But it turned out that most of the country seemed to side with the police, believed that they must have been provoked.
And with George McGovern as President of the United States, we wouldn't have to have Gestapo tactics in the streets of Chicago.
At the same time, there was chaos inside the convention hall as the party battled over whether to call for the end of the Vietnam War.
That was equally conflict-ridden, and all of these forces came together in an extraordinary confluence of violence, anger, and all of it was seen on TV.
In the end, Perlstein explained, most Americans sided with the police. Richard Nixon ran on a promise to restore law and order.
A growing concern is also the issue of peace.
That November, he narrowly beat the eventual Democratic nominee, Vice President Hubert Humphrey.
It was definitely an inflection point. And many, many things. It was an inflection point for the Republican politics of law and order, and basically presenting themselves as the forces of hierarchy, decency. You know, if you're behind a white picket fence and work hard and play by the rules, the people Richard Nixon termed the silent majority were for you, and the Democrats are in cahoots with these anarchists, right? It was, profoundly inaccurate. It was a smear, but that was the beginning of that smear.
I revere this office, but I love my country more.
Fast forward to today, when a sitting Democratic president has stepped aside. A conflict rages overseas that has reignited tensions on the left. There are renewed pushes for women's rights and racial equality. And the Republican presidential candidate, himself a recently convicted felon facing more charges, is running on a promise of law and order.
I think the parallels don't really rise above the level of the superficial. Conventions are very different now than they were in 1968, in part because of 1968. In 1968, the guy who became the presidential nominee of the Democratic Party didn't enter a single primary. Basically, the delegates decided who to vote because political bosses told them to. And these were deals made in back rooms, often at the convention.
Following 1968, the Democratic Party reformed its nominating contest to favor primaries, giving voters more of a say. While Perlstein says this year is unusual, Harris did appear on primary ballots with President Biden. And since his stepping aside, delegates have overwhelmingly lined up behind her.
Oh,
But
my
the question
God, the
remains
bullshit.
if younger progressive voters who are pro-Palestinian will also back Harris. How would you compare the passions that were flowing in 1968 around Vietnam with what's going on now in the United States around the Israel-Gaza war?
Well, there's, considerable group of people who are extremely passionate about what's going on in Israel and in Gaza. I would say the biggest difference is that the people who were extremely passionate about what was going on in Vietnam were young people who could have ended up in Vietnam that same month. And this is a time in which as many as 100 American soldiers were dying a day. I don't want to take away from the moral passion, but, this was kind of life and death.
In addition, Pearlstein says the federal government now runs security, which has become much tighter, especially after the terrorist attacks of 9/11.
There was this brief shining moment in which, this crazy thing, American political convention that is not predictable, seemed possible. But the Democrats are in array. They've lined up behind a candidate. I think 83% of Democrats said that they agree with the decision of the party to put forward Kamala Harris over Joe Biden. The delegates will vote for her. We'll hear inspiring speeches. We'll see celebrities sing songs.
This guy lives in Disneyland.
Life goes on.
But very different from 68, inside the hall.
Very different from 1968. America before August 28, 1968, and after August 28, 1968, was a different America. The idea that this convention will be a watershed is pretty much inconceivable. Now, this election might be a watershed, but the energy lies elsewhere.
I think it's important to keep it kind of cool.
That's a point that Democrat and former 1968 protester Michael James agrees with.
I definitely don't want to have what happened in 68 happen, because I think that the danger of having the orange-haired guy resume office of presidency will really be a disaster, not only for America, but the world.
For PBS News Weekend, I'm Judy Woodruff in Chicago.
Chicago.
Yep, hey, my goodness. That was very, very similar.
And of course, this is PBS, so I mean, we know who butters their bread.
If it's in their name, it is in the name. BS is in the name.
Yeah.
Say PBS or CBS or whatever. Yeah, so like I said, we're gonna go ahead and get up out of here a little early tonight. I do appreciate everybody that came in and chopped it up with me. Mountie, Yellow Beezy, of course, my man Noobs. I do appreciate everybody that hung out in the chat today.
Lex, what's up? I didn't see it creeping around over there.
Oh shit! Wow. Oh, Lex came in the building, man. I appreciate Kilroy Girl for coming back after being gone for so long. And, of course, just stay aware, stay alert. Saying another thing that we didn't get a chance to, we got time to talk about some stuff tomorrow, post day one, the convention, however much we can stomach, I guess.
Yeah. And and that's going to be like, I'm going to turn that thing on and I'm going to post the link, and kind of the vision that I have for it is that, because I know that people aren't going to sit there and watch all that 5 hours. I can tell you, I ain't going to sit there and watch all that 5 hours. All right. But hopefully, you and me can tag team it so that folks that want to come into the panel or whatever, sit around and BS. And, that's kind of how it's going to go.
Absolutely. Of course, this is Noob's creation here. I'm going to go ahead and tighten it all up with, my different websites so we can get him on X and Rumble and other things like that. So, just stay tuned, stay alert, stay alive, man. That's what we got to do.
And just drop by and say hello.
Absolutely. We'll be here. Sometimes we don't, but most of the time, definitely on Sundays, we try our best to be here for you. So on that note, love y'all guys and peace out.
How long before we start up the movement? How long we gon' keep letting them do us? How long before we start up the movement? How long we gon' keep letting them do us? How long before we say fuck this piece shit and grab them clappers? How long before we lose our voices shouting Black Lives Matter? How long we gon' keep letting them disrespect our president? How long we gon' keep letting them terrorize our residents? I'm sick of this shit, it's word to Bernie Mac. How long before we police ourselves, take our own streets back? How long for Uncle Tom here and hate on this shit? How long before they take a shot at me for making this shit? How long I gotta wait for justice for Josiah Shaw? How long we gotta fake it till we can take it and whack 'em all? How long we not gonna make these youngins pull their pants up? How long we gon' keep letting them shoot us down with our hands up? How long we gon' keep killing our own and making these streets hot? How long will what I say to you stay with you when the beat stop? How long's your attention span? How long you watch the news? You ain't down to shake shit up with the rebels for the cause? I ain't talking to you.